So today I would like to ask you about your mystery school. For a while we call it Genny method, but it was kind of a narrow description. So we decided that maybe we should call it mystery school because you teach quite a bit of everything.
Yes, yes.
So we would like to know. I have never taken your class before. So what to expect when you take the class, and then what kind of thing we get to learn. I know you have a Native American lineage, so we're curious about journeying. We are curious about honoring the four directions and spirit animals and whatnot. We would like to know. You now we know that you have multiple teachers, so your knowledge is actually pretty broad, and so we would like to know what we get to learn.
Okay. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Well, one, more than anything, is I always say that I hope that whoever studies with me or works with me, that they will go home knowing who they are. To me, there's nothing else to learn. But to remember this is who I am, and it's an unshakable, endless, infinite process of who you are, and that's the work. How to interweave all that you are into a very deeply unshakable truth that cannot be changed. And so that's the core of the work. And I have so much to share. If anybody's listened to some of my other videos, they would know that I have studied with a couple wonderful shamans. I have also spent time in Peru and worked with the Inca shamans. I have worked deeply internally with my own ancestors, my Cherokee ancestry. So what I teach comes from my soul. It's not comes from a book or somewhere else. It comes from my soul, and it speaks to those who are with me in the moment. So I will work with you right where you are, and not expect you to fall through some kind of technique, but to really open and to receive and to remember who you are. But to answer your question, I interweave the shamanic work. I was trained in the traditional shamanic practice, which is, on an energy level, is that shaman takes in the pain, literally takes the pain, kind of like the Shinto priests do. They take the pain into their own body, they transform it inside their body, and then they release it to the light. So I went from that path to the modern day shaman, which is that you don't take someone's pain anymore, because that was an old method, and it worked in those days, and it might still work for some people. But the way I teach it now, you don't take on someone's pain.
Thank goodness for that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's very difficult to do that work. But you don't take on someone's pain. You hold the space. You let them feel it. You comfort them so that they then have permission to actually feel the pain. Not the story behind the pain, but the actual sensation of the pain. And as they bring their attention to that pain and they breathe into that pain, the feeling and the sensation literally starts to change. And that's because the energy that's been holding tightly around that pain, it begins to release because you're giving it permission. So that's the cellular healing. So we work on that level. So I will be teaching the difference between the shamanic path and the modern day shaman. I will teach you the right use of energy, which is, to me, so important. People are so anxious to share and to help others that they often will learn something about energy, or they'll take a class and then they'll go want to put their hands on people and they want to give them energy. that usually comes from their own excitement to heal and to help. It comes from a good place usually. But what it does is it actually damages the person. It can be very, very hurtful. Because if I'm putting my toxic, if I'm in pain or I have sorrow or I have fear and I put my hands on someone, that energy goes right into that person. And that person never thinks it's me. They think it's their fear. And so they think something's wrong with them. And so what happens is you get this mixture of, I can't fix you, and the person feels I can't heal. And so then there's this unresolved issue that's going on. So I will teach you the right use of energy, which is first you must know your own. I always teach in larger groups not to use energy on anybody. I always say don't put your energy on anyone, to really understand yourself, what your energy is, where your energy ends and someone else's begins. I teach really clear boundaries so that you don't bring your energy into me and I don't bring my energy into you, unconsciously or consciously. And so I will teach first how to do that, how to bring the energy into you, feel your own energy and not lose your energy, and be respectful of your own energy and hold it sacred, because it is. And then for advanced students, I then begin to teach you how to actually do energy work. And that's a very specific and very important way to work with somebody. Energy work is not giving someone energy, but it's actually meeting their energy. It's like two, singing forks and, or bells, and they ring, and then you actually start to feel their resonance. If you've ever done that, you have two bells and they ring, and then you bring them close. Or even if you take your own hands and you start to go like this, you start to feel an energy inside. That's what real healing is. When someone's there and they're laying there and I can feel their energy, I don't give them energy, I don't take anything away, but I meet it. And when I meet it, it actually creates a harmony. Just like that bell. When those two bells come together, it creates this beautiful harmony. And that's what we're looking for. So when there's this harmony, nobody is giving anything, no one's taking anything away, but both parties are experiencing this harmony. And that's where the frequency of our soul starts to open and starts to heal. And so that's the way I teach healing. And it's what works for one thing, but it's also safer. Because I don't know if we can go into lots of that, but I know that there may have been some people out there that have gone to somebody and they went away feeling worse. Or healers themselves have worked on somebody and then that person leaves and they feel horrible because they've taken on that person's illness. And there's no need to ever do that. Never do that. And the mind might say, oh, if I could just take their pain, that would be so wonderful because they wouldn't hurt anymore. But that's an illusion. You don't want to take anybody's pain away from them because that actually is their medicine. And that's another thing I teach, that your pain is actually your medicine because it's trying to get your attention. It's trying to teach you something. And so we don't want to take that away. Even if I had the power to take it, I wouldn't. Because if you stay present with that, it will speak to you. You will start to learn something about yourself you didn't know. And then you will actually start to see how courageous you are and strong you are. So I'm teaching many, many things. And then how I do that is I will work with the chakras. And the chakras are an internal process of opening each chakra, 7 chakras in our body. And briefly, the first chakra is our connection to the earth, but it's also a connection to what is real for us. Most of us do not know what's real and what we're connected to. So we're out there looking for what's there to connect to. So it's how to connect to what is authentic and real in my own life, and then how to connect to my ancestors and their gifts. The second chakra is my primal energy, which is in many cultures is the cougar, the jaguar, it's Kali, it's the earth, it's the underworld, it's that willingness to go deep within ourselves and reclaim what has been lost. And that's in our belly. And that is very real. In many, many cultures, that is where our power lies. And it's often where our power is taken away, especially for women. That's where we're cut off. So we reclaim that power so that we can recognize that my feeling is authentic and it's real. And then our third chakra is the light. It's the masculine. It's the authentic truth of who I am. It's a willingness to really show up, to say, here I am. It's the light inside of me that I share with the world with no apologies. And so that is often very hard for people because they want to hide. They're scared. They're afraid to be powerful, or they haven't been allowed to be powerful. So when you come to a third chakra, it's like, how do I give myself permission to stand in my own light and know that's who I am and allow myself to be as big as I am? And then the fourth chakra is our heart, and that's a deep sanctuary. I teach that that's the place that we will find true comfort. We'll find a place where we can rest and begin to remember who we are. It's a true sanctuary. And so we learn about our heart, and to me, the heart is self-love. Sometimes it's easy to love people out there, but really learning to love ourselves. And then the throat chakra is the fifth chakra, and to me, that represents all of our senses. It's taste and smell and hearing and seeing. It's being able to really, really pay attention to all of our senses. So you'll be able to smell if something's off. You'll be able to hear something that's not even being said. You'll be able to see something and trust what you see. You'll be able to speak your truth from your heart, from self-love. So it's a very beautiful way of really beginning to open up to the truth that's in you and express yourself. And then the sixth chakra is your third eye. And I believe this is, in shamanic terms, this is the eye that sees the truth. And so it's because it sees through the truth of our heart. And so when we open to our third eye, our sixth chakra, we begin to see ourselves for who we really are. Now, I know a lot of psychics want to open the third eye so they can see other people and they can read other people, and that's very exciting for them. But the true essence of that is, can you and are you willing to see how beautiful you are? Can you see your own magnificence? Can you take that vision and look inward and go, oh my God, that's who I am. That's the real work. And then the seventh chakra is my seventh, is the connection that I have with the universe. It's where I'm connected to everything. I have the knowledge. I have the information that I need to validate my life and heal myself. So when I'm open and I'm trusting, I really know that I am not alone, that I am guided by the highest truth, whatever you want to call God. I'm guided by that. And so that's what we'll learn. We will learn the process of that. And we will also learn the four directions, like you said, in the Indian terms, there's American Indian way of the four directions, which all of these tools and ceremonies are so useful in anything that you want to try to change in your life, or you are in transition in your life. When you take that to ceremony, it lifts it. It lifts whatever's heavy, and it begins to heal you. So many more things, but I won't go into it. But I hope you can come. We're having the workshop here in Marin County, and this is where I live, and it's beautiful here. And we will go out to the ocean, and we will take beautiful journeys, and we will be deeply intimate in our own healing process. So if you're interested, please don't hesitate to call me or contact me or contact Keiko. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.